Our story begins way back in 1899 when John Sharp started out in Petone, providing feed for farmers and horse-drawn transport in the Hutt Valley. In the late 1930s, my father, Alan Osborne, a grain broker, called on John Sharp and said to him if he ever wished to sell the business, he would be interested. John Sharp said he had promised the business to one of his staff members. Several days later, he called Dad and said the chap did not wish to buy, so Dad proceeded and bought the business. My grandfather, my mother's father, who was a local farmer, guaranteed a loan to secure the purchase. My brother Ian has memories of that Petone store and of Dad mixing rations with a shovel on the floor, few machines and very manual. I do, however, remember Mother recounting how excited they were when Dad brought home their first cash takings and he saying, "This is our own money." In 1947, Dad bought a larger property in Marsden Street, Lower Hutt, that was owned by Clendon Brothers, a coal merchant. There, Dad installed a 1-ton mixer for mixing feed, mainly poultry and pig rations. My first memories of that mill are unloading raw materials in sacks using a friction winch, one bag at a time, up to the mezzanine floor. In the mid-50s, Dad received his first supply of bulk wheat, and that was picked up from the Hutt railway yards out of a railway wagon, probably from the Wairarapa. All feeds were sold in sacks and hand-sewn. Dad bought a portable sewing machine to improve that process. Ian joined Dad in the business in the late 1950s and played a major part in the development of our bulk poultry business. We were the only supplier of bulk poultry feed for egg producers in the Wellington region. Supply of bulk poultry feeds remains our core business today. In 1960 saw Dad's next move. He built a new mill in High Street in Lower Hutt. This was the start of our entry into the bulk feed deliveries. We had 2 bulk grain silos so we could receive and process bulk raw materials. Meat and bone meal came in 1-ton containers, minor ingredients still in sacks. With the involvement of intensive pig and poultry farming and improved genetics, good nutrition and balanced diets were critical. We used outside nutrition advice and consultancy, and for the past 30 years, Nutritech has provided that service. In 1973, to progress my career in farming, Nicky and I moved to the Wairarapa onto the farm, supported by Sharps. Ian suggested we put up a silo to store grain for the feed mill in Lower Hutt. Local farmers started asking if we were going to make feed locally, hence the development of a feed mill here on the farm. At that time, there was a small feed mill advertised for sale in North Canterbury. Ian and I travelled down to Harden and bought it. The plant was dismantled and put into railway wagons and delivered to the Carston railway station. At this point, I heard that a chap Johnson may be looking for work while he searched for his own farm. When I asked Shorty Johnson if he would help me build a feed mill, he looked at me sideways and wondered what I'd been smoking. And the rest is history. 18 months later, we had an operating mill, customers, and a future, we hoped. The factory was not an industrial complex, it was a DIY operation. But whatever happened, I couldn't have done it without Shorty. The first feed from the Carterton mill was produced in 1975. Brother Ian and his wife Paddy in Lower Hutt handled all the office work, which suited me fine, and the combination worked well. At that time, we were operating 2 feed mills, the one in Lower Hutt and here in Carston. But in the mid-80s, all manufacturing was moved to the mill in Carston, where much of the grain used in the manufacturing process was. In 1991, a computerised batching plant was installed, which greatly improved efficiency. In 2001, I nervously bought Ian's share in Sharps and went it alone. We employed Annette Spicer to run our office very efficiently for 16 years. Innovation has been an important part of Sharp's success. The emergence of BSE, or mad cow's disease, around the world in the early 2000s was a major challenge for New Zealand farming and our industry. To meet new regulations in 2006, we did another major upgrade and installed a second production line. This meant we had the ability to manufacture feeds for monogastric animals, such as pig and poultry, and ruminant animals on completely separate production lines. We preserved the ability to make best feeds from best available raw materials. In 2010, Sam and Sarah became involved in the business, although Sam had taken a keen interest in the business for some time. Sam wrote a program to run our orders, purchases, production and sales and integrate it with Xero, and this was revolutionary for the business. At the same time, Sarah brought her marketing expertise, and this was also had a significant impact on business. In 2017, Sharp Stock Feeds was inducted into the Wellington Region Business Hall of Fame in recognition of our contribution to the region's economy. In 2019, we had an inquiry of 4,000 tonnes of 10 kilo bags. This required a major upgrade, 2 new buildings imported from China and a state-of-the-art packing line from Concetti in Italy. My father once said, "Bite off more than you can chew and then chew like hell," and this was certainly one of those moments. All contracts included Concetti technicians travelling wherever in the world to do the installation. COVID lockdown prevented that, so we did it ourselves and had it operating by 30th of July 2020, an exciting project with lots of challenges. Through all these projects, extensions, installation of machinery, we had to keep the factory running, and that in itself posed many challenges. That's what makes this industry different to many. Animals require feeding every day. In 2021, a major rebrand with the adoption of the byline "From Our Farm to Yours" was completed. Now in 2024 we enter a new chapter where we have started demolishing 50-year-old silos and are starting to install a new silo and grain handling system. Included in this upgrade is a hammer milling and roller mill complex, which will improve productivity through the mill. Family is central to Sharp's success. My mother and father, Ian and Paddy, Nikki and the kids, and now Sam and Sarah and theirs, Georgie and Jackie, were also a part of Sharp's growth in the Wairarapa. Over the years we have enjoyed extraordinary loyalty from staff. There are some people we would like to particularly acknowledge. Ken O'Dowd from the early days, and Eddie Parslow, who worked with Ian in the hut for 25 years, and we've already mentioned Annette Spicer. Other staff who deserve an extra special mention: Kevin Pearce has been with us for 35 years, Ian Shields 22 years, Bevan Percy 15 years, Sally Smith 10 years, Lisa Farr 7 and Stacey for 4. It is hard to thank people for that sort of commitment. As we mark our 125th anniversary this year, we at Sharps would like to say thanks for the unwavering trust and support from all our customers, farmers, team, partners, and all who have supported us along the way. This is a tribute to my mother and father, who probably thought they had bitten off more than they could chew.